Some of you may know the talented Anthony Davis that plays power forward and center positions for the New Orleans Pelicans. However, do you know that he only went to college for 1 year at the University of Kentucky? Anthony moved straight to the NBA after only 1 year of a college education. Some say that he went to the NBA because he would be paid to play. But if the University of Kentucky could pay him, would he have finished getting his college degree? However, the recent case of student athletes being paid has been recently been declined by the courts. Therefore, the NCAA and athletes are highly divided on NCAA athletes being paid. My main issues I will be talking about is where the money would come from, how the money would be divided, and how it would affect the athletes. Before I talk about those main inherent issues, I will be talking about one of NCAA's strict rules called amateurism. Amateurism is, according to the NCAA, maintaining amateurism is crucial to preserving an academic environment in which acquiring a quality education is a first priority. By that it means being a student is first and athletes second. All athletes have to maintain the amateurism requirements in order to be eligible for intercollegiate competition. Because of this rule, NCAA athletes are not allowed to be paid. The first topic I will be discussing is where the money would come from. Many people wonder where we would get the money to pay the athletes. Economists say that the NCAA could pay them because they make so much money. They just have it to where as soon as they earn their money, they spend it. Also, the university could hire athletes as employers under the federal work-study program. However, according to CQ Researcher, athletic scholarships should be increased to cover the full cost of attendance for both male and female student athletes, but student athletes should not be paid. Also, because we are paying the athletes, there's a chance that the coach's pay could go down and the student tuition rates go up. My final topic I will be talking about, my final topic would be dividing the money among the My final topic is how dividing the money among the athletes, how it would be a very tricky thing to handle. According to Title IX, if schools are to receive federal aid, men and women must have equal opportunities. So by that it means that the pay would be equal. However, by paying the athletes, it would increase the competition in order to be paid more. Of course, some say that the pay could be unfair because some sports bring in more money than others. And also there's too big of a gray area between the different sports and the different divisions, such as D2 and D3. My final topic is how paying the college athletes could affect the athletes. Paying the college athletes can have positive and negative effects. First of all, it would be easier for them to pay off their other expenses because athletes don't have time for a job. Secondly, it would begin a sense of financial awareness. However, by paying the athletes, it could detract from the purity of the game, and it can make them put their education in their back seat because they want to be able to perform better to be paid more. But no matter which way you look at it, there are positive and negative effects of paying the college athletes. So I've discussed where the money would come from, whether it be from the NCAA or raising athletic scholarships, how the money would be divided, whether it be equally or compared to how the sports bring in their money, and how it would affect the athletes, whether they would learn their sense of a financial awareness or if they would just put their education in the back seat. Although this issue has recently been declined, many are still fighting for the right for NCAA athletes to be paid. Both sides have valid points. Therefore, the NCAA and athletes are highly divided on NCAA athletes being paid.
How much do you think they would be paid if they were allowed to?
If they were allowed to pay them, it would depend on which pay scale they go on, whether they go through the federal work study program or if they go through how much a sport brings in. Morgan?
Would it just be like major sports like baseball, we'll say softball, and basketball, and maybe football? Would it just be like those four main ones, or should it be all sports?
That's also kind of where they're kind of hanging between is, do they pay the big sports that bring in the most money, or do they pay everyone so it's equal? Chelsea?
Would division affect it too, depending on which division of school it is?
I believe it would affect it because with Division I, to have a scholarship to go to Division I, it can be athletic and academic, whereas D2, it's kind of a little bit more academic and then athletic, and then D3 is just academic scholarship. So I think it would also kind of vary in between there. Go ahead.
Do you think that the ticket prices for the game would go up too?
I believe that would be a possibility to cover the cost of paying the athletes. Matt?
If they paid the athletes, would they no longer pay for their schooling then?
Can you clear that? Re-say that, please.
If they're gonna pay the athletes, would they still pay for their schooling too, or they?
Would the athletes still pay for their schooling?
He's saying would they go on scholarship and be paid?
That is also where there's a discussion is whether they would pay them or if they would raise their scholarship. I'm sure that if they did pay them, they would probably use that money that they're paid to cover for their school.
Okay, John.